Hello there. I'm at the Pinot Noir conference in Christchurch and I wanted to show you a wine that has actually stood out for me. So this is Te Whare Ra's 2021 Clayvin single-vineyard Pinot Noir. So Te Whare Ra, quite well known, one of the first planted estates in the Marlborough region. They evidently have the oldest cellar door anywhere in the region, and a winery run by the Flowerday family, and then winemaking is conducted entirely organically. However, as well as having their own vineyards, they take fruit from the Clayvin Vineyard, and I think the Clayvin Vineyard is an interesting example of the way that New Zealand needs to think about developing its Pinot Noirs. The idea of a prestigious single vineyard, almost becoming a cru. Now, the vineyard is actually owned by the Jason family, who have their own winery, but as well as making their own wines, the Jason also sell fruit. So you see versions of wine from the Clayvin Vineyard coming from the From winery and also from Te Whare Ra. These are different expressions of this one quite famous vineyard. The vineyard was actually originally planted by the Eaton family and had several owners before it came into the stewardship of the Jason family. Now, talking to Anna Flowerday, she was explaining that actually it works quite nicely for them, because while the other producers who are taking fruit from the vineyard prefer some of the bigger, gutsier clones, their preference is to use the plantings of Clone 5 Pinot Noir, an American clone, which tends to be lighter and more elegant. So Te Whare Ra's expression of the Clayvin Vineyard is one that has more lifted aromas. It's still age-worthy and should still have the concentration that's created by the clay soils here. Sorry, I'm really rather assuming that the name Clayvin is self-explanatory. It's a vineyard in the southern valleys whose heavier clay soils suit it well to the growing of Pinot Noir. So the fruit here is entirely hand-picked, it's vinified in open fermenters and ages in oak. So let's see what we think of it, shall we? There's a lovely vibrancy to the colour. It's a relatively dark ruby, but not particularly deep. This has at best a medium depth of ruby red colour. The alcohol, as noted on the label, is 13.5%. The wine is relatively readily forming some tears on the side of the glass there as I swirl it. So let's see what we make of the aroma, shall we? There's a lovely lifted red fruit here. There's an almost floral edge, and then behind that there's almost a sort of a gingery spice there. Delicacy, the perfumes are beautifully lifted and it's very attractive. So let's have a taste. On the palate there's an initial good acidity. The aromas seem quite delicate, but actually this is now filling my palate. Alcohol is sort of rounding out the back palate, but this is giving concentration right across my tongue. The tannins are very fine, they're very supple, almost velvety texture, perhaps slightly chocolatey texture. There are perhaps hints of chocolatiness in there. Then the acidity's helping to lift some red fruit out at the back of that on the finish. I think this is a wine that's still relatively young, and its concentration is perhaps closing the fruit up a little. I think give it 4 or 5 years and it will start to show more in the way of the perfume and probably some more developed complexity. Currently, its red fruit is showing multi-dimensions. You're getting that sort of everything through from the floral, through to cranberries, through to a rich, almost licoricey note on the mid-palate. But the acidity is still giving a fresh red fruit to the finish. I think you'll start to get some more developed notes, hints of truffle, that more sort of savoury style coming through. I find the wine open and attractive. It's not as muscular, and as yet it's not as savoury as many of the other of the wines I've tried from Clayvin become. Having said all that, this is a wine that's produced in tiny amounts. I think 123 cases were made in 2021. So I will leave a link in the notes below to the Wine Searcher webpage for this vintage of this wine, so you can see if it's available near you, in your market, and if so, at what price. Or failing that, you can find links to other vintages of this wine. I think Clayvin has the potential to be quite an important vineyard for New Zealand's Pinot Noir, because the vineyard's being treated by producers almost as if it's a cru, each of them giving their own special interpretations to it. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you found the video of interest. If you have, do please press the like button. If you'd like to watch more of these videos, do please sign up and follow us on YouTube. It would be fantastic to have your subscription, and that way you can set yourself a notification and be alerted every time we publish a new tasting. And if friends you think might like to watch the video, do please pass it on to them. That would be fantastic. So thank you again for watching. I will be at the Pinot 2025 conference for a couple of days yet, so hopefully I'll be able to publish a few more tastings of those wines that have really stood out for me. So thank you again for joining us, and I hope we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.